Welcome to another edition of Wolf Talk, live on KVCK, keeping you up to date on local issues that affect you and your community with live in-studio guests. Wolf Talk with your host, Brandy Lynn Lauper.
And I want to thank you for joining me this morning on this cold, kind of rainy, kind of snowy April day here in northeastern Montana. And I have a couple of ladies who have taken time out of their busy day to join me live here in studio. Tracy McIntyre, Executive Director with the Montana Cooperative Development Center out of Great Falls. Welcome.
Thank you.
And Ms. Tammy Burke, Director of the Food and Ag Development Center here in eastern Montana. She is here with us as well. And you guys are busy this morning, and like I said, you decided to come in and talk with me live on the air to let our listeners know what you guys are doing. What's going on today, tomorrow, and the next day that you guys are working on?
Yeah, so I'll start. So the Montana Co-op Development Center, we're a statewide organization, and we're just part of the economic development branch using co-op models. And so we're kickstarting today what we're calling the MCDC Tour 2021, and we're going all across the state, visiting communities, talking about the cooperative business model, visiting with our existing co-ops, and just kind of promoting and saying that, this is a solution for communities. And then Tammy asked us to kind of focus in on some food hub discussion. So you want to add a little bit what you thought about that?
Yeah, so I think we have an opportunity here in eastern Montana right now to actually have some food hub cooperative development and increase jobs and also get our local products out to people in our communities.
Now explain a little bit about what co-ops are and how the community profits from them.
So co-ops really, at the end of the day, there are 3 or more people or businesses. I mean, there's a lot of flexibility on how you can create a co-op in the state of Montana. Most people are most familiar with their credit unions, their utility companies, right? Part of what we do is we provide support for those guys through their associations. But more than that, what we really focus on is using what's the for-profit business model. And so it's really about finding solutions on the ground by combining different resources. So that can be people resources, it can be money resources, it can be a variety of different things. And it's really about coming together to address community and economic needs through a cooperative, which at the end of the day is exactly what the word is, right? It's people working cooperatively together to make a solution for a need or a business. Sometimes it's not like a need as much as it's a group of businesses coming together to talk and build a variety. I mean, we can do shared services. We can do, you name it, we are doing it, it seems like. So
what are some of the, I guess you could say, more unique types of cooperatives? We mentioned the electric utilities and that kind of stuff, but what are some of the off-the-wall ones that people might not really even think about?
Well, right now for us, we're seeing a kind of a resurgence of people interested in co-ops. So we're working in childcare, housing, a lot of food discussion, distribution, the food hub concept, processing. Some of the more unique ones, we have a group of welders that have come together outside of Bozeman, and there's 3 of them, and they cooperatively own crucibles. And it's a great little worker co-op. They're sharing studio space. They're knocking out the ballpark. We had a midwives co-op at one point. We've had yoga studios. We've had, I'm trying to think of ones kind of unique. We're working on some around the raw milk. We'll see if that comes to fruition or not, like a barnyard co-op thing. It's pretty cool. So it's a cool job to have because we work with so many different communities and different needs. We've got young producers coming together to raise cattle and share grazing land together, and yeah, it's an exciting time to be in co-op development.
So this would be like a great opportunity for somebody that might be thinking about starting a business, but maybe doesn't want to do it on their own, to maybe come and learn more about co-ops. Mm-hmm. Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like right now in the region, we have some greenhouse owners that actually are looking to specialize in their own fruits and vegetables, and then share with other greenhouse owners as well. And so they'll be joining us today at our Food Hub Lunch and Learn at GNDC.
Wow. And okay, talk about Food Hub. talk about what that is, and I get, because I know we have acronyms for everything. I'm looking at Tammy, and she's pushing me off.
Tracy is our resource partner, and so that's why she's here. And so a food hub is actually, just a cooperative or a hub where lots of different owners with lots of different meats, vegetables, flours,
you name it,
flowers, you name it, milk, can come together, and it could just be that hub of the region is really the goal.
Okay.
And then hopefully we can distribute from that hub out to the smaller communities.
Yep. And what we're also seeing some interest is the food hub is where the producers can bring in their wares, but you can also then do some processing within that and do value-added components to it, and then you're just adding. Because one of the things from my perspective, and I'm seeing this all across the state, and I've been seeing it for years, Montana is so good about sending out our raw product, whether that's raw fruits and vegetables, raw pulse crops. We sell our calves outside of the state. Can we use the cooperative models as a means to build that value on the things we grow and produce and make more product here, and then feed Montana, right? Like this distribution side, if we can get some of these food hubs kind of developed across the state and they're interacting with each other, and then we're tying it. These are my long goal, like
your dreams.
My dreams, but I'm here.
I'm your Tracy's too.
Yeah, like we were kindred spirits. We were like, let's do this. So it's exciting.
Yeah. So, my vision for a food hub over here is just what she just said, just share products from within our borders, not just necessarily in the Northeast Montana, but, we're rich in pulse crops here. So maybe we can share that with the western part of the state, and vice versa, whatever they're growing over there, cherries or huckleberries or whatever that may be.
We do have a lot of huckleberries if somebody wants to go pick them. I'm from western Montana, so I'm like, yep, huckleberries had to come up, right?
Maybe it's because I'm hungry and huckleberry pancakes. So
there you go.
And that's where we're going next. Let's go get some pancakes.
Well, we're talking food,
Right.
It just kind of comes to play. Well, it seems like you gals have a fun job. Does it feel like a job to you to be able to work with people like this?
Well, yes and no. I think for me, because we are statewide, I was telling Tammy as we were walking in, this is our first trip really, because I started with the Co-op Development Center right before the pandemic started. And so we haven't been able to get out and actually work with communities. So I think that that's really an exciting time for us, is to be able to be out meeting with people on the ground, which is really the part. And what I truly love about my position too is every community is different. And so we don't come in with a cookie cutter approach. I mean, at the end of the day, co-ops are formed very similarly, but there's so much flexibility in how we get there, and each group's different. So we really enjoy that aspect of just understanding the need and the personalities and kind of working with them. And I like my job a lot.
Yeah, in mine, I just like Tracy, I started right before COVID hit as well. So I was about 6 months into my job and hadn't really reached every single community in my region. So the Food and Ag Development Center, which is housed at Great Northern, actually covers all of eastern Montana. So I represent and service 11 counties. And it is very, very exciting to what I like to call be in the buddy seat with those producers that have those ideas and try and help incubate them and provide technical service and resource partners such as Tracy to really make their goals come true.
It's kind of a win-win for everybody, our communities. And, I'm sitting there thinking, as a person who loves fresh produce, and, you guys were talking cherries and huckleberries. I would love to, have this stuff to be able to, to trade and share with everybody in the state, so we could get more of what the other side of the state has to offer, and we can send our great stuff to, them as well. It would be a great opportunity for just regular folks to win from it as well.
Well, yeah, and the idea, trucks go back and forth across our state empty way too often. And so if we can kind of get a system of food hubs developed with distribution components, but they can also be centers for major distributors too. So during COVID, we definitely saw the impact of what's going on with our food systems, and distribution played a huge role with that. And some of our rural communities were struggling a little bit before. They're really struggling during, and they're not really recovering with getting food to their communities. So another long term is that these food hubs could also maybe be distribution points for those larger distributors, and then we can pull those out to the smaller rural remote communities, because I think that system's been hurt a little bit. So working towards finding solutions there.
What do you think the future looks like for co-ops?
Strong. We are seeing, this is nationwide. I work across there's 28 co-op development centers across the U.S. Not every state has one. We're working towards getting that going. But we're all, we were starting to see kind of an uptick on it. I think that, if you look throughout history, co-ops had these ebb and flow times when it was really popular. I mean, we built rural America on the backs of rural electric, and then telecommunications came along, and our credit unions have come along. And so now I think that people are starting to see how diverse co-ops can be. And we just did our impact report too, and the impact that we're having in the state of Montana. I mean, aggregated, and when you take all of the different sectors, and this came from the Better Business or the Business Bureau at U of M, and they're estimating $7.6 billion industry because of our co-ops in the state of Montana. I mean, that's not just them directly, but the impact that they have. And so when you look at what we're doing, I think it's strong, and I don't think we're going to go away. I think we'll see more co-ops being formed. We're very busy at the state level, and then we're working with our counterparts all across, like Tammy and Tori at GNDC. Did I say that right? GNDC. Acronyms get me. And I think that we're just going to see more keep coming forward.
What about financial opportunities dealing with co-ops? I mean, are there finances available to start a co-op? Or, obviously people have to have their own money to come into this, but is there help?
So co-ops are formed, the baseline of the co-op is the membership. And so there's usually what we do is that we kind of look at what that membership capital is first and foremost. And so there's two different ownerships in co-ops. Please, I'm going to clarify. These are like the ones that we're starting up, not necessarily your utility and credit union. Like those are a little bit different. But the ones that we're seeing mostly set up, you have your ownership stock, and then you do have an investing stock option. And then what's really cool about that is we can work with our partners like GNDC and others for gap financing if we need to. And then there's some national co-op banks that we use. And then our office is trying to build a revolving loan fund specifically for cooperatives as well. That's one of our goals in the next couple of years. And then we've just introduced what we're calling investing co-ops, which are, we're actually, I'm going to get hand slapped because we're trying to get those named as opportunity development co-ops, where the community can actually come together and create an investing co-op to invest back into their communities. So there's multiple ways. At the end of the day, they're a business. So it's not the same as going down as an individual business owner saying, I would like a loan, because we do have multiple layers of membership and ownership. But yeah, there's definitely financing options.
Great. Now, today you gals are right here in Wolf Point, and tomorrow you have meetings in Glasgow, and then the next day in Scobie. Is that correct?
Yep. And then we go on down to Sydney and Glendive.
Oh, you guys are just busy, busy, busy. Now, the meeting that you had this morning was Coffee with Co-ops. Tell us a little bit about what that entailed, just in case somebody wants to catch it in Glasgow or Scobie or elsewhere.
So Coffee with Co-ops is really a Co-op 101, kind of just real casual, just talking about what co-ops could mean and how impactful they could actually be to your community. So we invited community leaders and community members to join in and have that discussion.
Great, great. And so tomorrow morning, that'll be in Glasgow. What location?
Tomorrow morning at the Loaded Toad in the Sean Heavey Gallery.
Okay. And that's at 8 o'clock?
That's at 8 o'clock.
Okay. And then Scobie, do you have, I know you had to be announced on my notes.
I believe that we're going to be at...
Maybe.
Nima?
I think Nima.
We're talking to them,
Yeah.
I think Tori's back there trying to confirm that right now.
Okay. Yeah, probably their friendship room up there, I think, in Scobie.
so.
I think so. Okay. And then the other meetings that you're having start at 11:30, and that's the Food Hub Grocery Stores Lunch and Learn. What about that? What does that entail, just in case people are interested and want to attend in Glasgow or Scobie?
So that one will be, we'll kind of go through what discussion on what would people want to see, and the focus is definitely on the Food Hub discussion, but I think we're open to have more discussions if other topics come up.
Right. We just want to really spark some interest in that Food Hub creation.
Yep.
And the locations for that tomorrow and the following day, Glasgow,
So today we're at GNDC conference room, and then tomorrow we are going to be at the Milk River Activity Center Community Kitchen, and then in Scobie we will be at Niemont.
Okay. Perfect. And all are welcome to attend if they want to learn more?
Yes, everybody's welcome to attend.
And I guess you guys can give me information on the Sydney and other directions too, because I know we do get people that travel throughout the region, and we try to connect the whole area with this kind of thing too. So if you can give me that information, eventually I can put it on our community notes.
We're going to have to, because I know Richland County Economic Development has set it up. I want to say that we're at the MSU Extension building in Sydney in both locations for their lunch and learn and their presentation. And then Glendive, I'm not sure. Holiday Inn?
Yes.
Yeah.
Holiday Inn and Suites.
Okay.
Yeah. But we're doing something a little different in Glendive.
Right. Glendive actually has a farm-to-table store. So
I didn't know
pretty
that.
amazing little store, actually.
And it's a co-op
And it's
already.
co-op.
It's an actual
wow.
co-op
Yes.
already.
So we're going to be visiting with them about Food Hub Cooperative, and we're going to be doing a strategic planning session with not only the community, but also with their board.
Yeah.
Great.
Kind of dig in a little deeper. You know, Bruce Smith was so valued when he put that together. I got to work with him. I lived in Eureka at the time, so clear across. And that's really where the brainstorm child of like, Eureka has a little bit longer growing season and fruits can grow there pretty good. And so Bruce and he was working at the extension agents at the time, and I was working with an extension agent. And we had this long conversation about, okay, Eureka to Glendive, like what can we go? And so I really think that he kind of started this conversation years ago. So it's kind of nice to circle back into, even from a previous career of mine, to get to work on it again.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm really
yeah.
excited about it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're seeing something right in the works that's fresh and new, and it's here, you know,
Yeah.
in our region. So.
And they have the co-op model already there. So we're not starting from scratch and forming a new co-op. It's there, it's available. And so the ability to expand and work with an existing co-op is pretty, I mean, that's part of the other work that we do. We're also the administrators for the Montana Council of Cooperatives. So we provide a series of services for all existing co-ops too. So it's not like we just build them and then never talk to them again. We're pretty much from the conception of the idea all the way through. And I mean, some of our co-ops are 100 years old, and we're working with them on bylaw updates because, you know, things have changed.
Yes, maybe just a little bit.
They also have a unique opportunity there where they have this wonderfully large community kitchen with some storage capacity, and people can come in and do a little bit of processing. I know that some people process some meat, wild game, I believe. So they'll come in and they'll make cookies and whatever else. I think Badlands Pizzas does some sort of pizza making there.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and having that commercial kitchen, that facility itself, as how many of the communities we work with have been mentioning wanting that kind of processing area, and so it just would fit.
Yeah, it's almost like a
So
little
exciting.
incubator. If they want to try
Yeah.
something out, they can just come to that community kitchen.
Very neat. Well, you'll have to keep me updated on how that goes too, because I'm curious now.
Absolutely.
Anything else that you think the public would need to know about co-ops, or what your tour that's going on right now?
Well, they can follow us on Facebook. Where I'll be honest. I am not the best at that social media side, and hopefully one of my staffers will be joining this afternoon that can really be doing that side of it. But they can follow us along all summer. So the next 6 months, MCDC is going to be doing these kind of conversations all across the state. And so it's just Montana Co-op Development Center on Facebook, and they can find us, and feel free to follow along and kind of see where we're going. And I think that what I'm think will be so cool throughout this summer month tour is showcasing the different types and the different ways that communities are looking at co-ops on addressing so many, like the housing one in Gardner is looking at, you know, their businesses have come together to buy housing stock because that's a big issue. And so they're using the cooperative model to do that. Or
Wow.
Yeah, so I think it's just going to be great, and people can follow us if they want.
Yeah, and you can follow GNDC, so Great Northern Development Corporation, on Facebook as well. You can reach out to us here, and we'll point at the office anytime, so 653-2590. We provide technical assistance. We have a small business development center. We have the food and egg development center. We do have a loan department, so we provide gap financing. And we have a housing department as well.
Lots of things going on for you guys. Yeah. Well, I want to thank you guys for joining us today. I appreciate you coming in and talking with us about co-ops. I've learned a whole bunch, and I'm sure our listeners have too. And I'll have to follow you guys on Facebook as well. I might already follow GNDC. I would think I already do. So, but yeah, I'll keep in touch, and we'll keep us updated on what's going on. And if you have any other events coming up, just let us know, and we'd be happy to have you back on the air.
Excellent.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. And we have more music coming up.
Thanks for listening to today's live edition of Wolf Talk on KVCK with Brandy Lynn Laba. Join us again for more community topics and local guests to keep you informed on issues that affect Northeast Montana. Wolf Talk on KVCK.